Welcome to Wow Wednesday. Today is my favorite day of the week. Everybody else calls it Hump Day. We call it Wow Wednesday because it's all about how you look at it, right? It doesn't have to be, oh, it's the middle of the week. Oh, can't wait till Friday. No, we don't have that kind of life here at Women's Prosperity Network world. We have a life that we're looking forward to being on every day and having the best time that we can. So today, my guest is a woman who I admire personally as well as professionally. And let me tell you about this woman. Not only is she the mother of five, count them, five children, but she's the owner of a publishing company called Gift and Author Publishing. And she is on a mission to provide independent authors and ghostwriters with the comprehensive publishing services traditionally associated with larger publishing houses, like, the ones that you see, like, Penguin Press and Macmillan and all of those. So she wants to make it easy for those of us who are independent writers, which most of us are. Like, who has $100,000 to get a New York Times bestseller? Because that is what it costs to market to that. It's probably more than that now. So her vision is to empower us as writers so that we maintain our creative freedom and retain the full right to our works, which is a whole nother conversation about owning what you create. So let me just bring her on because she is fantastic. Please welcome the fantastic Kristine Skiff to the show today. Hello, how are you?
I'm great, Trish. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. And your introduction humbled me, quite honestly.
Well, really, I mean, just the fact that you have a full-time family, a full-time business, a full-time husband, and you manage all these things, I think that's something, we see people who are successful in business and we think, wow, they got it all together. And the truth is, they look that way, right? But to be able to manage all you manage, it's not just being able to be a great publisher and to be a great mom. I mean, it's to be able to do all of those things and to juggle all of that, and all while you're doing brilliant work.
Thank you.
So, Kristine, my hat's off to you for being the fantastic woman that you are and for the difference that you make for so many people.
Thank you. And I would say that what I have learned on this journey is that we have to give ourselves grace because you can't give 100% to every avenue of your life every day, but you can give 100% to what is needed most that day. If you try to, and then if you feel guilty because today I didn't make dinner, we had pizza instead.
The kids are happy.
The kids are happy. They have been fed. CPS will not be showing up at your door for neglect. It's okay. Pizza is okay. And so give yourself grace because I certainly do not have it together every day. And I'm doing really well if you think I do.
You are. You're doing great. I'm impressed. So, Kristine, talk to me about, and I don't know if we ever talked about this. How did you get started doing what you're doing? Like, were you always someone who wrote and felt creative?
So this is quite the story, actually. I call myself an accidental publisher because I did not start off to be a publisher. When I went to, we grew up without a TV. At all, my parents were very hippie-ish, and so our big excitement.
Hippie-ish.
Yes.
Hippie-ish.
Yes.
You're lucky your name isn't Sunflower.
My husband's name is Usarian because his dad was a hippie.
Oh, Usarian.
Yeah, he made it up. Anyway, so our big fun thing as a family every week is we would gather around our radio and listen to old time radio shows that they played out of DC every Sunday night. And so I grew up on Fibber McGee and Molly and Suspense and and Johnny Dollar. And so my cultural references are very old, much older than I am. But I grew up at the feet of the great storytellers, Orson Welles. I mean, we're here. And because we had no TV, all I did was read and write and force my brothers and sisters to act out plays that I wrote. They still are traumatized, I'm sure.
Oh.
And I went to college. No, I went to school, and my first things were published, I think, in middle school, where it's the first time we went into magazines.
What magazines? Were you like in Highlights or something?
It was Highlights. I did, and actually, there was a local magazine. It was a story. I guess I was always, like I said, I grew up with storytelling. So my first story that was published was a story of a brother and a sister who grew up in the Depression and how they had learned to have fun during that time. So that was my first one.
Wow, that's amazing. So here you are in middle school. So let's say you're 12.
Right.
And you write this story about two kids growing up 50 years, no more than that. How many years before you were born?
Yeah.
Wow, you have quite the creative streak, my friend, to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, like I said, my cultural references were much older than me.
Right, exactly. Fibber, McGee, and Molly. Some of you are hearing that for the first time. That was the name of a radio show.
Right.
Wow.
And so I went to college. I met my husband. I was writing. I hadn't done books yet. I was building up to that, because back then you had to be published at a traditional publisher, or you were some weird guy in your basement with an inkjet, because we had moved up to inkjets by the time I was in college. Well,
yeah,
after the third or fourth year of college.
Yeah. No, but we're in the 80s now, right?
Yeah, we're at the early 90s actually, but yeah.
Early 90s. So in the early 90s, were you publishing through college also?
I was doing, like, around the college, I was doing like the newspaper, I was doing articles and things like that, but I wasn't doing books yet. That was an expensive proposition. And honestly, I was in school. I got married, had kids, and my life changed because I could not work with the kids we had. All my kids had autism, all 5 of them. They were diagnosed at different times. It felt like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, quite honestly. And so for the next 15 years, I was a stay-at-home mom. I learned a whole lot about fighting for educational rights, and I learned a whole lot about advocating for mental health, but I was not writing other than a blog that I wrote for my own sanity. And that blog got a little popular, and people are like, write a book. And I'm like, I need a shower without someone interrupting me. That's what I'm working at. And finally, they were old enough, and I did write a book, and it was not the book people thought. They thought I'd write about autism or my family, and I wrote a psychological thriller. And people were like, this is a great book, but what is it? And how did you get so dark? Like, so I was like, I need a break from my life.
Yeah, it was an escape.
It was. And so what I discovered on this thing, though, was that Amazon was now a thing. This is like early 2010s.
Right.
And I'm like, Amazon is a thing. And everywhere I looked, especially then, this is early in the days, there were scams everywhere. And I knew enough about publishing to know that what I was seeing didn't add up. And so when a friend saw that I wrote a book, and she's like, I didn't know you wrote. I have a business ghostwriting. Will you take on some ghostwriting for me? I was like, sure, I can do that. So over the next 2.5 years, I wrote more than 25 books and ghost wrote them. And it gave me a very quick crash course on how not to make money. My first book was 30,000 words, and I made $200.
Oh, wow.
But it also gave me a crash course in self-publishing, and it gave me a crash course on what I needed. So I built a team for me. I found editors I could trust. I found illustrators I could trust. Every time I needed a new thing, I added somebody to my team. Eventually my team grew, and the friend asked me to join her business. I brought my team with me. That business went down a couple of years later, but I kept my team, and our customers went with me, and Gift and Author was formed. So, and we have grown very quickly. So this is all author driven publishing, because I was an author first. I'm a storyteller first. And I absolutely firmly 100% believe that telling stories and telling our stories are an absolutely essential part of who we are as human beings. It goes all the way back to our earliest times in prehistory. And the further we get away from that, the further we get away from each other and understanding each other. And it's so much easier to be disconnected and then vilify each other and be angry. Once you know somebody's story, it's a whole lot easier to see them as a person, whether you agree or not. So that's why I do what I do. I love it. I am blessed. And Wednesdays are a wow for me. Every day that I get to work is a wow. So thank you. That's my story.
That is awesome. Like, who knew you were a 12-year-old published author? And who knew, like, you were right at the beginning of the Amazon bubble, if you will, because before Amazon, you could not publish a book. Like, what would you do? There was no way to do it.
It was all, and like I said, you could do it in your basement and then you could send it out to your friends, maybe sell it at events, but it was not something that you could do easily like you can with Amazon today. And what I have done is I've taken that model for being a self-publisher, and you can still self-publish, but it has become much more difficult as Amazon has grown.
Yes.
You have to understand the algorithm and how to be seen and things like that. I've taken that model, and then I've taken what I know about traditional publishing and I've merged them into something that's different. What we do is always different at Gift and Author. We have a very, like when we do editing, we don't do editing where you just get a big block of highlights and stuff. We do a report. So it's easy for the author to read and say, oh, I want this change. No, I don't want this change. Things like that, so that you can easily see what you're doing, and just to make it easy for the author, because that's my job. My job is to make it easy to actually get your story out there.
Yeah, exactly. And you do that not just by, number one, ghostwriting. So people come and say, I have this idea, but I can't write a book. Can you do this for me?
I have some amazing writers on our team. I really do. I don't get to do as much of it as I like, but anymore, but I do have some great writers who do it.
That is so, I mean, just to be able to do that, to get people's stories out, because how many of us sitting here today are saying, I have a story. I just don't have the time to write it, publish it, market it, get it out there, make money on it, do something else with it. But that's where ghostwriters come in, and they can take what you're thinking and put it into words you would never get yourself. So that's an amazing talent to be able to do that, Kristine.
And it is. It's and I give big kudos to my team. The thing about ghostwriting is you should not hear the ghostwriter's voice when you read the book.
Right.
So if you read 2 books that I wrote as a ghostwriter, you should not be able to say, oh, Kristine wrote both of those, because it should be the voice of the person, that the author of the book. We're just a tool for that author to get that story out. And so that's what ghostwriting is. It is not just writing skill. It's a skill to be able to enter into the mind of somebody else through interviews and stuff, and really get the nuances of who they are, so you can get that into the story.
And most of those, Kristine, are they fiction or nonfiction, or a mix of both?
I'd say that most of the ghostwriting we do is either for biographies, or autobiographies, as they end up being, or for business, for people in business who want a book out there, but they do not have the time to necessarily commit to it. We have ghost wrote a couple of novels, but quite honestly, fiction is much harder to ghostwrite.
I imagine.
Because you have to, it's more than just getting in their head for their voice, it's getting in their imagination, and that's much more difficult.
Yeah. So one thing is ghostwriting, and then the other thing, when did you start doing what we call compilation books, anthologies? Because, you know, let's get into the meat of this, because why write a book is the question. Like, why would I do that? I get it out of my head. Great. I feel good. It's cathartic. I get it. But I put a year of my life or 6 months of my life. I need to make money on it. Right. And I need to have it, let's talk about from the business point of view. I needed to be doing something to bringing people into my world.
Right.
Or how did you, like the whole anthology book thing didn't even start until like 2005 or 6, somewhere 8 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and honestly, I was very late on that train because I have resisted hard because I saw not the ladies here. I first of all, I need to say something first. There are several publishers here within WPN, and every one of them is amazing and they do amazing work. And so I don't want to be disparaging in any way. You cannot go wrong with any of the ladies you pick in this group. So first, let me clarify that. But a lot of the collaborative books I saw held very little value for either the writer or the author. And I felt like, and some of them were scams. And so I was kind of really reticent to get in on this whole idea of collaborative books. And then everybody was doing a collaborative book. And I didn't want to be just another voice out there doing a collaborative book. I wanted to do something different. So finally, my CFO, also a WPN member, Barbara Johnson, said, Kristine, you have to do a collaborative book. That's what people do. And I'm like, I'm not doing a collaborative book. And she said, you have to do a collaborative book. And I said, okay, but only if I can do it my way. So what we do for collaboration books is different. They are full books. They're not little books. They are full 300-400 pages, and they have full chapters. Each author has like almost a miniature book inside that book. And you get to tell your story the way you want to, with your images, with your pictures, with your color. It's all done. We are even now printing them in hardback for you, so that you can order them wholesale from us. So that is, and the people are like, well, why would I want to be in a collaborative book? Well, that's
the question, right?
The collaborative books are a great way to be an author. And I don't mean to toot my own horn, because it's, other publishers have done this too, but ours are always a multiple bestsellers. And so you're a best-selling author without the investment of a full book. Yeah. It's also a lesser time investment. And the hugest thing, I think, between all of this is that you have a team built in, because all the other authors want this book to succeed as well. Yeah. So you're marketing to your people, they're marketing to their people, and suddenly you have new contacts just right there, because we do a seminar. This is new. I'm actually just starting this. You guys are hearing it first. We're actually doing it for our All Zoomed Up in December, a whole seminar just with the authors. And we're going to do games, prizes, and help them to just get their words out and have fun for the holidays. And the next one we will be doing will be for an apple a day, which is our next one that's coming out. And we'll be doing that right before Valentine's Day. So, so you get a seminar with it to promote yourself, promote your business. And also we give you a 2-minute reel with interviews with from your speech. This is coming from the seminar. We always gave you a book trailer. Now you're going to get your own personalized 2-minute reel that you can use from what we have done in the seminar. Okay, so that is cherry on top that I've really never heard before. Number one, the reel. Yeah. So for those of you who are wondering what's a reel, it's sort of like a preview of your book. And it's done really professionally, and people are like, oh, just like a movie reel. Oh, I want to see that movie. Oh, I want to read that book. And just getting that alone is such a value add. The second thing with the seminar is now your authors have a video that they can use of themselves speaking, right? Which is what they need to get on stages, which is where I was leading with this. Having a best-selling book is how you is a best way to get on stages and do podcasts and get your voice out there. It is accessible. It's an accessible way because there is a lot of competition to be a speaker. But if you say, I have this best-selling book, you now have something to talk about. You have something to interview with your local papers, with be on your local TV shows in the morning. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with it. So that's kind of the emphasis of a collaborative book. It's more towards business. We are considering doing a fiction one, but that will be late next year. So
Yeah, but the business book, they say it's a big calling card, but think about it. I always talk about the first date when you're on a stage, right? It's like the first date with your audience. Well, the book is like takes you to date number 4 because they really get to know you. And
yes.
when your audience gets to know you and connect with you, they want more.
Yes.
And truthfully, nobody's going to get rich on the collaborative book.
Nope.
And most of us are not going to get rich if we write our own book, right? I have a 10-year-old book that's still making money on Amazon, but it's making $20. It's not.
So this is the truth. And this is one of those things that scams a lot of times will tell you they're going to make you tons of money. Right now in publishing, there are about 6 to 7 times more authors than they were 20 years ago. However, the market has within a couple $1 million is exactly the same as it was 20 years ago. So, and you might say, oh, a couple million, that's a lot. It's really not when you're talking about a full economy. So there is a lot more competition for your book to be read. And that's, and part of that is what we do is help you get that out there in different ways, because you have to be unique. You have to be seen differently. And you have to be real. People in today's world do not want the perfect face, the perfect everything. They want the real you, the bumps and bruises. And so, that's one of the keys to getting seen. And as for making money on your book, you can, but it is a process. It is not something that happens overnight, and it is a career.
Yes.
So if you want to be an author and make money as an author, you need to understand that is your full-time job. Your full-time job will be promoting your book. Your full-time job will be, going out and getting it, doing signings, doing all these things. And most of us can't just do that. So you'll be working your full-time job at the same time. That's how you make it as an author and get your book seen. If you're using your book as a tool for your business, you're making money in different ways on your book. You can bring them to your app, your speaking engagements, and do book signings at the back. It's a way to connect with your audience. It's a way you can give them out to potential clients, but you're making money as it's like just a way to open those doors.
Right.
And that's where your money,
you are.
Yeah. That's where your money's coming in. Not always directly from the book itself. It's what it opens to you.
Right. But here's the thing. Most people don't get that writing a book is a process. Getting the book out there is marketing strategy. Yes. Like most people don't get that this is a business initiative. Yes. Most people in the world will say to you, you wrote a book? And all of a sudden, you're elevated from just a regular person to, wow, she's an author. Wow, it's sort of like, have you ever done a speaking engagement at an event and you're mingling before the event? It happens all the time for me. I'll be mingling before the event, and I'll be talking to people, and I'll be, having conversation. And then the promoter comes over and says, Trish, we're about to get started. Are you ready? And I'll say, yes. And the person I'm talking to goes, you're the speaker? It's the same thing. There is a world of competition out there.
Yes.
And we always want to be looking for how can we bump up our own visibility so that we can be seen by more people, and we can be seen as a primary guru, someone you really want to be with. So more than anything, being a part of a compilation book, number one, is easy.
Yes.
Because, you just have to dump your words. Kristine will make them sound good.
Right.
The second thing is you have all of these other authors who are marketing it for you. So no question, you're going to be #1 bestseller. And let me tell you, I'm in 7 collaborative books. So when I can say I am a 7-time best-selling author, and that is the truth, that elevates me big time. When people hear I'm a 7-time, I'm actually a 9-time best-selling author, but that is a way for people to see you and elevate you. So why wouldn't you do it? It's a fast way to create buzz around you, your business, and what you do, right? That's the idea.
And when considering it as a marketing strategy, it is less expensive than some of the other things you can do, at least because you are getting a lifetime evergreen marketing, unless you change your business completely, an evergreen marketing product for several $1,000s usually, unless you're in some of them you can pay $20,000 or $30,000 to be in them, but those are usually the ones that are coming out from people like Oprah or something like that, where you're paying that kind of money.
Well, I know, and you have a new book coming up, right? And
I
you're
do.
just now talking to authors who would be interested in being a part of that book. So tell us about that book.
So it's called An Apple a Day: Collective Wisdom for Your Body and Soul.
Oh.
And this book is geared, because I have been asked, there's a lot of ladies within WPN and within all the groups that I am in who are, and it's not just ladies, but right now we're talking to ladies primarily, who are in the wellness and mindset fields, who want to share their expertise in a way that others can understand in a book where they have other experts of their field. So this is what this book is about. Now, how you do that is, that is, the chapter's yours to do as you want. I do encourage you to be somewhat, real in the book, but you can do it as a how-to, you can do it as your story, you can do it as why you do what you do, whatever you want to do on that. But that's what the book is pointed at right now, and what we're doing with that book. And I'm really excited about it because my illustrator just showed me the cover, the mock-up of the cover, so I'm super excited about that.
So what type of authors, what type of people, businesses, services, what would go
so
into that
if
book?
you if you're into holistic medicine, if you do energy work, if you do I have one person who's a sound therapist. We have people who do who work within focusing on mental health through through doing meditation. There
EFT, right?
Yeah,
Hypnosis.
right. All of these things and so this isn't necessarily, we're not looking for the medical doctor. I mean, they're welcome if they also embrace this, but this is more of a holistic, natural way for wholeness and wellness.
And it's for naturopaths and nutritionists and anybody who deals with mental stability or emotional intelligence.
And body, because this is body and soul. So if you're doing I just found out there's such a thing as a holistic dentist. I had no idea.
Yes.
So
holistic vets.
Right. So I'm like, I had no idea. So this world has been opening up to me, and because I'm embracing more of it. So I guess it's kind of my passion right now. So I'm really excited about this one.
I think you should be. I think it's awesome. And so anybody who might be interested in that can be in touch with Kristine, and the easiest way to do it is to sign up at Gift and Author. Now
there's 2 different offers there. I have a free class we're offering.
Right. So let's start with this one.
Yeah.
So this one is, if we have said anything that interests you, and you want to do this next thing, which you're sitting there thinking, I've always wanted to do this. Why am I not doing this? This is the thing that could put me over the top in 2025. This is the thing getting me speaking engagements in 2025. When I get speaking engagements, I make money, because that's the other thing. I stand on the stage and I open my book and I read from my book, and everybody wants to buy.
Right. And because
It
we give
costs
you,
me $4 and I sell it for 20.
yes, and we also offer you them at the hardbacks. So you have hardback ones for the wholesale price. So we print them in bulk. We print like 500 copies, and then you get to have, we give you 5 copies, but then you can buy them at wholesale if you want them. So then you make more money, because quite honestly, on Amazon, you do not make money on your book. You make
Yeah.
like $1.
And where I make money is when I bring my books to 100 people or 50
Right.
people. They're all buying it.
Yeah, because
Even
you've
if
just
they're
done your
not going to
speaking.
read it, they're going to buy it.
Right. So for today only, and for my WPN sisters, I am offering a deal. If you now, as long as you sign up today, I understand I won't be able to meet with everybody today, but if you sign up today, I'm giving the book, which is the chapters are $3,000. I'm giving them for $2,500, and if you pay in full at the signing of the contract, you get them for $2,000.
So it's a 40% discount. And let me tell you, it cost me 3 times that to publish my book. More than that. It cost me way more than that.
Yeah.
So you might be thinking, oh, well, I don't know if that's, a good investment, but let me tell you, it's a good investment. The other thing is, if you go to the website, make a deposit.
A $500 deposit. Usually we do 50% up front. For today, I want to make this accessible for people. So we're going to do a $500 deposit, and I'll make the payments all the way out, because the book is coming out in April. So you'll have until April to pay off that balance.
Oh, wow, that's months away, 6 months.
Yes. So
wow, that's great. So listen, everybody, if you're not in a book, this is your chance. This is what you want to do. This is going to elevate you. Everybody needs to be a published author, and everybody who can be a best-selling published author has a leg up on everybody else. So if this is, I see people making investments into internet radio and into doing TV that's going to be on YouTube. And the investments for those are upwards of $10,000. And I think the return on this is so much greater than it would be for that. It's easy to market. It's easy to sell. It elevates you in the world, and it shows people who you are and why they want to do business with you. And nothing does as good a job as that. Nobody. If your books are out there and people know you, you are somebody that everybody wants to know. You wrote a book. You're the speaker. You're the one I'm going to get advice from. So yeah.
And it shows, and you're not, some people have come to me, well, I feel like I'm kind of a fraud. You're not, because it takes dedication. This is something that if you put your heart into it, it is something that shows who you really are. You're not being a fraud. You're being who you are, and you're offering all your amazingness to people in a way that they can read. And it's so cool. I want to make this accessible in every way I can, because I truly, truly believe, I know I've talked to so many of you. Your stories are incredible.
Yes.
This is an incredible, incredible group of women. I have been so blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah. And your stories, when you get your stories out there, people get to know you. And the more they get to know the real you, like when you can share some of who you are, like who knew Kristine was publishing at 12 years old, right? Who knew she grew up in a hippie household and didn't have a TV set?
Even made their own tofu.
Made their own tofu. I'm sure you drank kombucha too.
Not the kombucha, but they took the leftovers that even the tofu didn't want and made these things called okara burgers. There is nothing worse in the world. Pure fiber, nothing else.
Oh my God. Well, listen, I want to give everybody a chance to ask you some questions. I'd love to hear your comments. Are any of you in any kind of a book right now? What have the results been? Do you need need any help with marketing? So I invite you just to raise your hand on the electronic hand. And if you're here on the phone, just open up your line and I will see that you are not muted anymore. And we can bring your question to the table. While you're putting your hand up with your questions, what I would like to ask Kristine is, I know that there's something you want to give people to get them started. And move them in the direction. Some
Yes.
people might be sitting there going, I want to do this, but I don't have any clue. What would I do? So tell me, what do you have to
So
help us and jumpstart us?
I'm offering a class for free. It's called Monetize Your Chapters, and this is, teaches you how to take your book and how to make money with it. It is a whole separate set of skills from writing a book. How to, where to market it, how to market it, and the importance of the different ways you can get around. Get the word around, I should say, about your book. So that's what this, it's a 90-minute class, and I encourage anyone, that the links are in there. It's in the chat, and
Yep.
I would love to see you guys there. So that's my offer for today. Also, for those who are writing maybe a fiction book or an autobiography, on my website there is a free thing called Create Your Character Sheets, and that will help you in that process as well. So you're welcome to look at my website and download that if you would like.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat as well. Perfect. Okay, let me go to Evis. Welcome, Evis. Happy to have you here with us this morning.
Hello, good morning. Thank you so much. Like always, it's been wonderful and we learned a lot. My question is, by the way, thank you so much for the free gift.
You're welcome.
My question is exactly, I know that you're going to talk in the class about that, but my question is, what you recommend that to do some simple strategies or how to monetize the book or your publishing?
So
go ahead.
You were saying how to monetize, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a big topic, but I can give you some very quick hints or tips right now. First of all, it is important to understand when you're marketing, people need to know who you are to care about what you write. Unless you're using it from a stage, if you're trying to just sell the book like on Amazon or something like that, they want to know who you are. So you need to get involved in the groups of people who are going to be interested in your book. If you're selling fiction, then get involved in some reading groups on Facebook. Don't just go there to market your book, because that's sleazy and people don't care. They're going to just get like, oh, all they're doing is trying to sell me something all the time. So be real, interact, actually care about what's going on. If it's a business book you're doing, then go to, like, let's say you're a lawyer, there's tons of lawyer book groups. Give actual feedback to people and be a part of the groups. And then they'll care about what you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, be real. And people today want real people. They don't want gimmicks. And that's my first step. And the second is to use your local resources. People in your community want to support you. So get out there and go to the Christmas bazaars and in their local book stores, and do book signings and get out there and get your book out. So those are two ways to make money on it.
Yeah, book signings. You can do your own book signing.
Yeah.
When all you have to do is, I did it in a restaurant and a bar. I called to the frou-frou area here in Fort Lauderdale, and I called to this one restaurant bar that was relatively new, and I said, hey, how would you like to have something different? This is a good way to bring in business people because it's downtown. I said, and it's a book that business people would be interested in. How about I do a book signing and we have a happy hour and I invite a bunch of people? So I did. And that's when my neighbor walked in. So I'm in here doing a book signing, right? You talk about being a celebrity. I'm doing a book signing, and into the restaurant is my next door neighbor. And she looked at me, she goes, Trish, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I'm doing a book signing. She goes, you wrote a book? I was like, yeah, I wrote a book. She goes, oh my God, what's it about? I have to have it. Where is it? Like the next thing you know, she was telling the whole neighborhood that I was a celebrity. So using your local, the other thing is going to, there are all kinds of opportunities. You have to pay to play, but going to those expos where you can display your works and you can meet people and you can talk to people. Many of those have 15-minute speaking gigs also. So if you
Yes.
have a table and you do 15 minutes, after your 15 minutes, your table is going to be packed with people wanting to buy your book.
And you can step those up because there are different levels of expos. And if you're just starting off selling a book and you have limited resources, you can start with your local ones, which tend to be inexpensive, sometimes $20-$30 to do a table. I mean, they can be inexpensive. They can be up to, but they're not. And then you can slowly move up. And then as you make money, you can go to bigger and bigger events, and that gives you your book more. That's just how you do it. So it is a process, though. It does not happen overnight. I had a client once, this was early on, and I learned very quickly to address this beforehand. We published her book and she quit her job the next day.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's not how this works. It takes time. Sorry, sweeties. You need to go get that job back.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry about that. I hope that helps.
No, it does. And then Evis, one other thing that I wanted to mention is that it's all about you having the next thing. All right. So when you're writing a nonfiction book, it's about your business. It's about educating people. It's about getting them interested and passionate about what you're passionate about. And that means speaking to people.
Right.
So using your book as the platform that you stand on, and this is what I talk about, is you talk about your subject, and then you have the next way they can connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be you do a training class, or it might be you have the next book, or it might be you have a workbook or worksheets or some way to get with them next. Because everybody who's written a book in business has used it to grow their business. So for example, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? You know, that book has been around for years and years.
Yes.
Sharon Lecter, who by the way is the writer of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Kiyosaki did not write the book. Sharon wrote the book. And her name is on there, but Sharon goes around and Sharon has financial training as her business. And the book is an introduction to her financial training. So Evis, that's key. That you have, what am I introducing with my book? And that's the thing that will make people come to me. And that's really where your career, your money comes from. Yes. I hope that helped, Evis.
Oh, thank you so much. Definitely.
Yes, you're so welcome. Thanks so much for being here every week. I so appreciate you being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, let me go to Joy. Joy Harris, how are you this morning? Joy, you're on mute still. There you go.
Good morning. Good morning, Trish. Good morning.
Good morning, beautiful. How are you today?
Well, I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm not beautiful quite yet, so I'm not on camera.
You wake up beautiful.
Yes.
I am enjoying this quite a bit. And I thought there might be a story behind Gift and Author Publishing. Do you want to tell us how you came up with that name? Gift and Author.
That question. Thank you, Joy.
Yes. So how it started off was Gift and Author was the company that I did ghostwriting under. I created it. You're gifting an author so that you don't have to write. So when my partner pulled out of our other business, I already owned all of the domains, all of the rights and everything to this name. So I went from Gift and Author ghostwriting to Gift and Author Publishing. And so it's not as exciting, but it is. That's the story.
And it comes from gifting an author because you're making it easy for them.
Right. It's you're gifting an author, and with the publishing, it's the same. We make it easy to be an author, and that's really it's my passion. So it always has been.
Well, and Joy, are you published anywhere yet?
Yes, I am. I'm in several collaboration books, and I'm in the volume 2 of the Women's Prosperity Network
the speaker book. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
About that.
And how has it, so being in collaboration, you've done this for a while. What have you seen as a result of being in those books? What have you been able to do with them?
I think I've experienced something like you just mentioned, Trish. I had my hair done, and I've only been to this hairdresser a couple of times. I'm going to stick with her. And she said, I hear you have a book. Well, the woman who referred me to this hairdresser must have told her about the Women's Prosperity Network book, because I think, I don't know when my first one was, but like 2017 or something. So I don't talk about it all the time. I do say I'm an Amazon best-selling author.
Yes,
You know, I
you
use
are.
that. But I thought I didn't remember telling her that. And she was excited that I'm a published author. And I said, well, I have 2 speaking engagements coming up about the book. And so she was just very impressed. So she'll probably tell people. So yeah, I'm enjoying that quite a bit.
Yes, yes. People know you. You become now someone people know.
Yes.
So wonderful. Joy, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. And thank you, Joyce, so much for asking that question. I appreciate it.
It was great. It was great. All right, Mary Jane Charles from North Carolina. Good morning.
Good
Hi, Mary
morning.
Jane.
Hey, how are you, Kristine? This is wonderful. We've spoken many times before, but this conversation is lighting up my brain.
Oh,
so
awesome.
I have a book, and I published it 7 years ago, and I was thrilled. And so I published it, and I sat because I knew nothing of marketing.
Right.
So long story short, it's still there. It does well in its own little orb, but it's sitting there, and I have books in my closet that I have, like, you want to read this? You know, and please read it. You know,
Christmas gifts.
whoever walks by. I want to energize it and get it back out there. I live in a little town. I am going to grab the local sheet for all the bazaars coming up. They're all over the joint. So I'll get on my pony and go do that.
Yes,
How can I, what else? I mean, the obvious things, but I'm stuck. What else can I do? I'm listening as fast as I can.
So, with you, if your book is so unique in what you do with it, I'm assuming you're talking about
surviving the business of dying. People
yes,
see, I have posters. I did this for years. I have my posters and my card table and all.
So you are set up for doing events.
Yeah, she's set. You're set up for doing events.
Yeah.
So really, Mary Jane, with you, you already have such a platform. I think that for you, getting out and doing speaking events and bringing those books with you is your bread and butter on that. Yep. Because first of all, you have a very unique niche book, and it is so practical. Oh my gosh, it's something we all need. And so I would very much encourage you to, I know it's hard at times, but really just get out there and start doing more speaking events, because you're you are set up already to do it, and already set up in a big way, and everybody loves Mary Jane. So
yeah. All right, great.
Really good. Yeah, get out and getting out in the community. That's the way your book sells. I sell more books at events than any other way. That's it. It just what I sell in an event far surpasses what I sell in Amazon. And I do sell regularly in Amazon, but
I do have one other idea though. It's a little bit untraditional, but because of how you teach people to be prepared, I would wonder if you could connect with some estate attorneys, and then you can actually, connect that way and maybe get your books in for them, because they want people to know where the papers are and how to do these things. So I think it would be a good connection for you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And I'll be talking to you.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane. I appreciate you. For those of you who are on the telephone, the easiest, fastest way to get the free gift from Kristine, which I would love for you to have, is I'm going to give it to you because I'm going to give you the whole thing. So it's giftanauthor.com. And when you go there, if you add a slash, if this is going to work, slash /P = 770, that will take you to how to market yourself through writing. So this is a free gift from Kristine that helps you to market yourself. Again, it's giftanauthor.com / and I'm just reading you the way it comes out after I did the thing. Giftanauthor.com / P as in Peter or Patricia = 770, and that will take you right to that page so that you can have that free class and get all the information you need to market yourself. Now the other, go ahead, Kristine, you were going to say.
I was going to say, I can put those up on the WPN link as well, Facebook, but also if it's easier, you can just go to www.giftanauthor.com, and in the scroll tab at the top, one of those is how to monetize your pages. So
so it's right there at the menu.
Yep. And so
And
it
I
should be
did
easy
put
to
the
keep
link.
up.
I do have the link in the chat for those of you who are here that are not on the phone. So I
Right.
wanted to let you know so that if you're on the phone, you can't click on these links. That's why I wanted to give you the real link. Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you do want to talk to Kristine about publishing. You do want to call her and be in touch with her. If you do not have the link to discuss with Kristine, you can simply email her or just give her a phone call. She's going to go ahead and put her email address in the chat, and then I'll read it to you. It's probably Kristine.
It's K Skiff.
Oh, K Skiff, SKIFF at
giftanauthor.com.
giftanauthor.com. So be in touch.
And also I will put my phone number. You guys can text me or call. If you call, I may not answer right away, but I will get back to you within 24 hours.
All right, fantastic. So be in touch with Kristine and find out how you can do this, because it's not a lot of money to be able to be in a book. I mean, we're talking a 40% discount. It's $2,000. $2,000. You make 4 sales, you got that covered, right? Just think about it that way. That's the way you have to. 4 people. I can sell 4 people. I can cover that, right? That's the way you want to think.
And that's and also you get 6 months basically to cover those prices, to cover that, which we don't normally do that. We're just offering that because I really do love my WPN sisters. So
yay! So 6 months to pay it off. Hello. That's the best.
Yes.
All right, everybody. It's been a pleasure being with you this morning. Kristine, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I am so blessed to be a part of this group. I have learned so much from you, Trish and Nancy, and from Susan. And so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And thank you so much for doing something so special for this community and for these amazing women. I appreciate it. Donna Four said she signed up for a
Thank you, Donna. Thank you.
Yay.
And
yay,
I will send
yay.
you the information on it so we can get it going on it. I'm excited.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you click on the link to get Kristine's free training class. Get in the book.
Yes.
Get in the book. It will change your business in a way that you never expected, and it's all up. All up. Kristine,
Awesome.
thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
all of you for a fantastic Wow Wednesday. We will see you next time. Have a great, great day, everyone. Take care.